Hello everyone, I'm Manuel, the FluencyBringer, and this is episode 17 of the Fluency Podcast. In today's episode, we're gonna learn when to use Estar in the Spanish language. So I know many of you have a lot of trouble understanding when to use ser and when to use Estar, especially because the usual explanation of ser being permanent and Estar being temporary is not enough. There are just too many situations in which it's very confusing to use ser and Estar. So today I'm going to teach you when to use Estar. For the uses of Estar, we have temporary or health characteristics, apparent appearance, marital status, the location of something, changes of mood using the preposition de, and present progressive using Estar plus gerund. The first use for Estar is temporary or health characteristics. For example, Elisa está feliz. Elisa is happy. María está enferma. María is sick. Mark está deprimido. Mark is depressed. So these are some examples of temporary and health characteristics. Very simple. Now, the second use of Estar is apparent appearance. You have to be very careful with this use though, because this looks very similar to the physical characteristics of when we use ser. Okay? But the difference is that we use Estar when we talk about something or someone who looks a certain way in our eyes, okay, from our own point of view. For example, you could think about your crush and how much you like him or her, and probably other people don't think they are attractive, right? So in your eyes, they are very attractive. That's what they're your crush, right? So this is apparent appearance, okay? Some examples we have, ella está muy guapa hoy. She looks very pretty today. So for you, she looks very pretty today. Another example is, mi abuelo de 80 años está muy joven. My 80-year-old grandfather looks very young. So for other people, maybe 80 years old, it's like too old already. But for us, and especially like how our grandfather looks, we believe that he looks very young for his age. So for us, he looks young. Okay? And the last one we have, María está sonrojada. María is blushing. Okay? So now, sonrojada means blushing. So, of course, that sounds more like a physical characteristic, right? Like someone is blushing, right? The problem with this is that sometimes people are not blushing, especially if they are white-skinned, right? So probably just the sun. They have been under the sun for a long while. They have a fever or something, and that's why their face looks red. So we cannot really say for certain that they are blushing, okay? But for us, she looks like she's blushing. That's why we have it as apparent appearance, okay? So that's apparent appearance. The third use of Estar is marital status. So this is very simple. Basically saying if you're single, married, divorced, etc. Okay, so we have estoy soltero or estoy soltera, I'm single. Estoy casado, estoy casada, I'm married. Estoy divorciado, estoy divorciada, I'm divorced. But there's one exception, and that's when you are a widower or a widow. Okay, so we say soy viudo, soy viuda. So soy viudo, I'm a widower. Soy viuda, I'm a widow. So that's the only exception. So we use ser for this instead of Estar, because you cannot revive your spouse. You cannot revive your life partner, right? So even though you can remarry again, you cannot revive the person that just died, right? So that's why it's an exception. We use ser. The first use of Estar is the location of something. These are the examples. La universidad está en Maryland. The university is in Maryland. Mis amigos están en Japón. My friends are in Japan. El Salvador está en Centroamérica. El Salvador is in Central America. Okay, so basically the location of anything. That's when you use Estar. Now, for the fifth use of Estar, we have moods or situations using the preposition de. So we always have to include de after Estar, okay? So for example, we have María siempre está de buen humor. María is always in a good mood. Michael nunca está de mal humor. Michael is never in a bad mood. Mi prima está de mesera en Vancouver. My cousin is working as a waitress in Vancouver. The first two are regarding moods. But the last one, mi prima está de mesera en Vancouver, is not talking about like she being a waitress. Okay? So we use estar de to mean she's currently working as a waitress in Vancouver. So something is temporary. Okay? This job is temporary. That's why we use está de mesera instead of es mesera. If it's like a semi-permanent job, like for example, 6 months, 1 year, that's her job, they will say es mesera. But we're talking only for like the holidays or for a very short time, we use está de mesera. Okay? Then for the last use of estar, we have present progressive using estar plus gerund. And these are the examples. Estamos aprendiendo español. We are learning Spanish. Ella está estudiando para su examen. She's studying for her exam. Tú estás escuchando este podcast. You're listening to this podcast. So very simple. Okay, we use this a lot. So the gerunds in Spanish are basically ando, endo, ending verbs. Okay, so remember those are the gerunds in Spanish. Okay, so those were the uses of estar in the Spanish language. I hope you found it helpful. Hey guys, thank you very much for listening to us today. If you really liked this episode and want to get more exclusive content like my 4-step guide to becoming an effective communicator in a second language or monthly group coaching, you can go to our Patron and support us there. We will really appreciate it. This content is 100% supported by the community.